I've been smoking for about 35 years plus. Started in late in high school, but really developed as a smoker, if you want to say that, in the college, studying for exams and things of that nature, staying up late and using it as just to relieve some stress.
Yeah, I started smoking a couple years ago. My friends did it, so I got into it after a couple years.
I started when I was in 12th grade in high school. It was a senior ditch day kind of party thing, and I did it. Usually, like, everyone around me was kind of smoking, so usually I'm like, no, I'm okay, like, I don't want to smoke. But this time I was like, fuck it, I'm in 12th grade, let me just do it.
I had my first cigarette when I was 19. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've ever had a cigarette, but when you haven't had one for a while, or your first one, it just tastes like straight chemicals. Mm-hmm. Ass. But you smoke it because your friends are smoking and you're like, I'm a man, I can do this. So you smoke it all the way down. And you get, like you were talking about, that lightheaded, and you're like, holy shit, I kind of like this. So then you have another one, and then you start feeling sick. But the next day, for some reason, you come back to it. And then you're addicted, and 5 years later, you're smoking cigarettes.
No, like me, I wasn't like that actually. First thing I tried, it was Marlboro Black. So that hurt. That really hurt me. I took a drug, I was like, so I was like, nah. And I actually started smoking again last year when I got to the US, when I started grad school. Tobacco, I think, is more kind of like related to anxiety. So like I got a lot of anxiety, so I started smoking, kind of like trying to get away from that. Mm-hmm. So that's how it started.
Weed definitely helps with anxiety. So like, weed smokers definitely are trying to get away from anxiety, and they smoke too. So it's like, especially after being in the military, I was like, bro, I was high strung as fuck. So when I got out, I'm like, I need to chill out, bro. Like, for real. And like, weed helped a lot with that. Yeah. It puts you under so much pressure, right?
And you can't smoke.
You can't smoke, and it's like, but they highly promote cigarettes and alcohol. It's like, that's the culture that's promoted more than anything. Like, yes, drinking is cool, but it's like, after a while, you get blacked out drunk so many times, and you get some experience, some embarrassing stories, and you're like, I kind of don't want to drink like that anymore. And I never smoked cigarettes. It's like, when I got out, it was like, let me touch that taboo thing that they've always been telling me to avoid, and like see what it's really about. Because it's like, after trying the stuff that they say is okay, it's like, no, this shit is not okay.
I remember the first time I got high, shit was so funny.
First time.
We hotboxed like 3 or 4 blunts, and I got out the car. That's when I turned like 15 and a half, around 16 or some shit. You got out the car to the hotbox, and it was like at night. So like, you look down the street, and you can see like hella street lights, like just going down the street. I looked, and I'm like, bro, I don't feel no different. And I looked, and in the street got dumbass swung. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm loaded. And right after that shit, like I was doing anything that came to my mind, I would do it. Like I was just doing it randomly shit. And then like I just fell in love with weed. I was like, bro, that shit is the funniest like feeling ever. Like I had the most fun in that night like ever. And that's when I fell in love with weed. You know what I mean? So I've been doing it now. I'm about to be 23 next month. So like, it's a beautiful thing.
As far as vaping e-cigarettes, I've tried it. Cigarettes fine for me.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
It's not.
It's vape. It's moisture, right? It's vapor.
Right.
But there is a small amount of nicotine. I think you can bump it up. You can get
control.
Yeah, you can get to
depending on the whatever filter you have or whatever. I think it's disposable.
It gets complicated, right? It's like a cigarette, you just put it in there.
And even now the price went up, I go to the Asian markets.
Yeah, right.
50 a pack. I'm good.
Oh, where are you going?
The thing about cigarettes is kind of like the fetish about it, right? Like you take one out, then you light it out, you just like enjoying it. Cause me, I'm a social smoker. Like I'm never like on my own, like, oh, I'm gonna smoke something. It's like, no. Like if I'm having a drink with my friends, oh yeah, you're gonna go for a cigarette? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we smoke.
100K died from it a year. Like, the fact that it's going to kill you eventually, that's the biggest, that's definitely what's kept me from smoking it. So.
It was just scary, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Knowing those statistics is like, okay, me push myself away from it, just personally.
I understand that, but like, you're living in Riverside.
Yeah.
How much like are you actually like taking when you breathe? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people that are like, oh, like you're killing yourself. It's like, right, you're not. You're living in Riverside. You're not killing yourself. Like, think about all the pollution. They're actually like
The smoke from LA.
right, like all that. I'm not saying like, oh, just because you live in here, you have to smoke, right? Because you're already doing it. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like a lot of people, the taboo they have is like, oh no, I like to stay kind of like healthy. It's like, you're not. You're not even here. You're not saying healthy. I'm sorry. Like even you're eating like everything organic, you're not healthy.
I identify strongly with the fact that I smoke weed, mostly because I've done my research on it and I know that it's not as bad as our society makes it out to be. So whenever someone talks down on like weed smoking, saying like, oh, weed's like, it's like the devil's cabbage. It's like it's so bad. It's so bad. Like, bruh, if you like actually read any studies on it, it's like no one has actually no death has been linked to marijuana. It's like it's a medicinal herb. Like there's so much positive that can be brought from it. But it's demonized by our nation primarily for rather racist reasons because it's associated with black people and Mexicans, and primarily because it can be used for so many things actually, and that threatened like a lot of industries like the cotton industry, big pharma, like all that stuff. So recognizing that history like makes like that's why I identify strongly with the fact that I smoke weed, because it's like, bro, this shit's illegal for no legitimate reason. Like none. So that's why I identify so strongly with that.
I feel because like my background is from Europe, like yeah, we smoke tobacco like all the time, and you go to bars and then people are just like, oh, you want to go out for a smoke? It's like, yeah. So you kind of like naturalize it. You come to see it in a natural way. So yeah, at the same time, like I feel that's something related to my cultural background.
I think you're right. It's like a social thing, right? So
Exactly. Yeah.
if your friends do it, you kind of start to do it too, and you just pick up the habit, and then it just becomes natural, like you said.
Exactly, yeah. Because, like, before, I would never be in my house and I would be like, oh, I want to smoke a cigarette. Because, like, for us, it's kind of like a social thing, like you say. It's just like, oh, you're having a beer? You're just like, oh, I want to have a cigarette at the same time. Because that's what you see. But then eventually, like, you're home, you're like, having a coffee. Like, I want to have a cigarette. Like, so eventually, like, yeah.
You just build, like, the addiction, and then
Yeah.
it becomes part of your life.
Do you tend to feel that you hang out with people that smoke as well? Or no?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Yes.
Yeah, same. Even I mean, you know, in high school, probably the later years, junior, senior year, that's when I started to smoke cigarettes a little bit, and then it really took off when I went to college, studying for finals and midterms, up all night, take a smoke break, right? Your buddy's studying with you next to you or something like that. So I think that's how I got started, smoking cigarettes. Yeah, to this day, there are people I hang around with that do smoke. Some don't, but there's a few there.
For you, how is it?
I was gonna say, man, as for me, I for weed, like I wouldn't necessarily call myself a stoner, but I could go through some weed, man. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, I'm like, it's just what I do. So you can go ahead and try to label me as a stoner, like, but I'm a productive stoner. You know, I get shit done.
To me, that's the real like people who think that people who smoke weed, they're like unproductive. All they do is stay on their couch and just like eat like munchies and just like eat food all day. It's like, nah, I'm hella productive.
Yeah.
When I'm like I live to break down that stereotype. Like just because I smoke weed doesn't mean I can't function.
Right.
You know.
It's definitely more chill.
Definitely some of the nicest people I
Unless
know.
we haven't smoked.
I think there's something about like going out and smoking or staying in like a space like and smoking together, whatever. It's like if you have a mix of like people who smoke cigarettes, mix people who smoke weed, we're all just like really chill and happy and willing to talk more, and there's something incredibly social about smoking culture.
Right.
And that's what kind of just like, it doesn't matter what you have in your hand or what you have in your mouth. It's just fun. Yeah. And then just like kind of share it around. There's something also with like passing blunts around or like sharing cigarettes too. Like, can I bum one off of you?
Right.
It's just like, no one says no either.
Right.
Like, have you ever asked try to ask like someone to bum for a smoke and then like they say like no? Or it's like, have you ever?
Yes.
Sometimes
Oh,
you get
really?
that, yeah. Sometimes you get that.
that.
Sometimes you get that, they're like, no, I'm sorry, this is my loved one. It's like, oh, okay. But
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
No, but like usually, yeah, you're right.
No.
Like usually it's just like kind of like a sharing thing. Just like, I don't know you, you don't know me. You know what? We share this habit.
Yeah.
So we're okay with it. Yeah, I'm just gonna give you one. So like in exchange, it's kind of like you don't. Obviously, you don't say that, but obviously it's kind of like you're sharing something, so you need to give something back. So you start a conversation.
Yeah.
So you actually enjoy it. It's like, can I what's your? For sure. What's your name? What you doing here? Hey, how's it going tonight? So you kind of like get like a micro society. You start talking like yeah.
I've never smoked with someone who, if I asked them for like if they're willing to share something, that we just flat out saying
Oh, no. No.
It's funny because Chong, he was doing this. I saw him doing a stand-up special, and like one of his jokes said, "Weed is like the only thing drug you do, and your first reaction is to pass it to somebody."
It's different. It's symbolic with weed. Like you don't really just when you go to a party or you pass the blunt to somebody. It's typically somebody you really cool with. You don't just really pass your blunt to randoms. And if you do pass your blunt to randoms, maybe it's a shorty that looks nice looking woman. And she said, "Oh, I got your blunt." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you look good. Hell yeah, it's solid." You know what I'm saying? Anybody else, I'm like, "Damn, you probably got to drop 5, partner." You know what I mean? Like it's just symbolic. So it's kind of different. Like you guys talked about, kind of like sometimes you kind of like you can like get a cigarette off somebody, like you can bum a store. It's like it's different. Like with weed, because I feel like weed can be expensive. You know what I'm saying? It's probably like the blunt that they were smoking. It's like $10 right there, $11 right there, just in one blunt. So. I just wanted to say that.
I think another thing, as far as the common bond with smokers, is they also drinkers of alcohol or coffee. I'm gonna throw coffee in there as a side, right?
Exactly.
I've never seen anybody that didn't smoke that didn't drink alcohol or coffee.
Right. Another thing, you're drinking, so you're kind of like
Hand in hand.
kind of like super like, hey, you wanna drink? You want a cigarette? Like,
It's very ritualized, right?
right?
It's something that maybe with weed too, right? You need, I don't know if you need like a safe space or something, or like a nice scenic area, or maybe just something
Definitely
close
helps.
to your throat.
It helps.
Yes. Right.
I was gonna say, man, I smoked the blunt right out there, and the reason why I said that, it's kind of like a sense of empowerment. You know, I mean, the common trait that people that smoke weed, like a lot of people be stressed, going through some shit, a lot of their mind, or just want to be chill, like for shit like a nice interview like this. So I was like, why not smoke a blunt? But even before I come in here talking about smoking kosher,
Right.
it's the kosher right there. You know what I'm saying? Smoke anywhere. Another thing is just kind of like a sense of empowerment. Like they want to feel empowered. You know what I'm saying? When you spark up that blunt, like you go to a party, like it's a social aspect as well.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a flex. Like, ooh, I'm over here smoking gas. Like you probably smoking boo in your blunt. Like I'm smoking that. You know what I mean? And then like you go to a party, everybody smelling what you smoking. They're like kind of looking at you like, who is that? You know what I mean?
though?
You kind of. I'm telling you, like sometimes I'll be going to people's houses. They be thinking I live at the house because I'm smoking weed in the house. Like I paid a light bill in that motherfucker or something. You know what I mean? So a couple traits: stress, the sense of like feeling empowered, like you that dude, and that's the main 2 things I can say. Like a couple traits right there.
I'm amazed that you guys can be productive, really. Because I never hit that threshold. I smoked weed a little bit. I just never gonna live a life that was too rough on my throat.
Baby
Right,
lungs.
right, baby lungs. And then but I'll smoke a whole pack of cigarettes at once. Hold up. Okay,
Okay, everyone has their own different reaction.
yeah. Well, when I smoked, I was a vegetable or like a retard. I mean, it's just totally out of it. And I can't smoke with a lot of people. It has to be someone I really know, you know, be around. And I'm amazed today, and I've seen it. My friends of mine, they can smoke all day and do everything, continue their work, their employment, drive around.
Right.
Just different effect on me. So, God bless you.
It definitely takes. You definitely got. For me, it's like I had to find like the strains that I could like work with because there's definitely some. Because I'm a lightweight, and so there's definitely strains that put me straight on my ass. So I gotta be very like selective. So whenever I try new strains, like let's do a little bit. Okay, we can smoke some more of that. Oh, I can't have anything planned if I do wax. Like, for real.
He said he kind of like tests what strands go for him. I'm looking for the strongest shit you got possible. Give me that shit. Cause I'm the type to do to smoke a blunt, eat an edible, go take 2-3 dabs and still be up. Like, let's get
damn.
out. That's the type of nigga. I've been doing it for years.
I'm just
I'm just saying, everybody different though. Everybody different. But you don't have to call me a stoner. I still get my work done. I'm gonna graduate in June. I had to put the flex on him. Graduate, black man, graduate. You know what I'm saying?
If I'm drinking. When I'm drinking, like I said, like in Spain, we always like we're social drinkers. So like you get a drink, you get a cigarette. Like that's the way to go.
Yeah, I noticed that like you're talking about the friends when you're with them, but also places like if you go somewhere alone that you're normally with your friends, I pull out a cigarette because I'm like, oh well, I smoked here before, I'll smoke here again.
Man, I don't want to call it an addiction, but like
It's definitely a habit. I would say
but like,
it's like
nah,
not addicting.
it's like I don't know what to call it. Like I love smoking. It's just
a
like
habit,
like
you
it's kind of related to the question he said. What habits or whatever kind of like trigger you to smoke or whatever. I don't know. I just smoke because if I got some weed, I'm gonna smoke. That's just the type of dude I am. It's like it could be any kind of fucking occasion. But I don't really smoke before class like that all the time unless it, it's in a later in a class in the day or some shit. But I'm like on the weekend and stuff. Like if I'm going to the mall, I'm going to the movies. Definitely going to the movies. That shit be crazy. You smoke a blunt and you watch the movie. That shit be crazy and the screen and shit. And then just like or you feel me? Or I'm about to have a performance. I'm a really big, you know what I'm saying, I'm a poetry dude. You know what I mean? I rap. I do all that. I love to smoke before I get up on stage. I might sip some Hennessy before I get up there too. But yeah, like I don't know. I realize that I really be smoking a lot when I look at how much I used to smoke back in high school when I first started doing it. I used to only be able to smoke on the weekends. Now it's like a damn near everyday thing. So it's just kind of crazy how shit escalate. And I knew I really was like a smoker when I figured out that I could smoke a whole quarter in like a day or two. And I'm like, boy, I'm smoking big weed. Like so. That's when I realized that. And I just realized that when I turned 18 and I graduated. So.
Getting in the car, driving.
Oh,
yeah.
big time,
Yeah,
big
Now
time.
the car.
Yeah, yeah,
Big
Cigarette
time,
and then start the car.
yes.
Driving. I know my office. We have a courtyard. Sometimes we'll go out. A couple of us that smoke. We're talking about doing a deal or something. So we're out there, good old boys club, smoking a cigarette, talking about numbers and things. Coffee shop outside if you can. I know. Depending on where you are, you have to stay a certain amount of feet back. There's a lot of regulations and things nowadays with cigarette smoking. But those are kind of main thing.
Like me, it will be like in my car.
Yeah.
Like big time. Like sometimes I wake up and I don't smoke. I don't really like smoking when I wake up. I'm just like doing my stuff, and then I usually smoke when I get back home, like night. But like today, I needed to get into my car, and then the moment I got into my car, I was like, oh yeah, like I needed it. And then other than that, like when I'm with friends, like it doesn't matter. Like sometimes I wake up, I live with my friends. If I'm on my own, just like I get my coffee, I'm just like working on my stuff. And then sometimes some of my roomies they wake up and I'm like, you want a cigarette? And like I kind of like did it. And it's like, oh, just kind of like started it, like whatever.
You're right. Whenever like I'm just nervous or anxious, I reach for my pack, I have a cigarette because the cigarette's like it's almost safe. Like it's always gonna be the same. It's always there.
Yeah.
Definitely stress, it's like stress is your big indicator. And I think it's like even with like from smoking cigarettes to smoking weed. I remember in high school the reason why I started smoking cigarettes is the fact that I was really self-conscious about my weight, and that's why I smoked cigarettes to kind of redirect that oral fixation. Like instead of food, I'm smoking cigarettes. So it's like that's like it wasn't exactly a solution, but when I was that age, that was my solution. Where I'm just like I thought that a lot of people were looking at me because I was always like chubby, I was always like slightly overweight, and I didn't like that feeling, so that's why I chose smoking cigarettes. And then going into high school, from high school to college, that stress changed from personal like issues to academic issues, and now the weed combats the anxiety in a different way.
It depends on what I know I'm going to have to deal with throughout that day. So I usually smoke in the morning, just like smoke a little bit in the morning, so I'm just like, oh, everything's just a little bit brighter. You know what? I can handle things today. Or I smoke like as soon as I get home after a stressful day. Or, it's like he said, like sometimes like I just have like a thug life moment, like, you know what, I'm gonna smoke like in this area where I probably shouldn't be smoking, but it's like, you know what, fuck, I fucking need it right now. So I'm about to fucking do this. you know, I got my homie with me, so it's like if we going down together. So you know, it's like that definitely embolden you, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like it definitely depends. Like it's like whenever I need it, you know. So it's like what you're saying. Like location don't really matter. It's like if I need it or if I see someone who's down to share, it's like, hey, yeah, all right, you know.
When you say you need it, what do you mean? Like, you have a moment or...
So for me, it's definitely when the stress starts to weigh down. Like when life's hit me with the bullshit, I'm like, I might slap someone today. Let me.
You know, I look you need it when I need to go to sleep at night. Like I notice it sometimes. It be like some kind of way I always get weed. Like I don't know if I heard the Schoolboy's Q song. Bet I got some weed.
Hey.
I got no money, man. But I bet I got some weed.
Bet I got some weed.
So the days I don't have it, it's kind of rare. And then like I be trying to go to sleep at night, and this shit be weird sometimes. I'll be like, I don't know if it's another song in quote. It's an Earl Sweatshirt. So he said something like my nightmares got more vivid when I stopped smoking pot. So it's kind of crazy. It was nights I don't smoke. I feel like, I don't know, I be waking up in sweats sometimes. I'm like, shit, I can't sleep as good. You know, I don't sleep as cozy. You know what I mean? When I do smoke a strong indica. So it's like, you know, you kind of talking about different times and like when you need it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I honestly want to say need because it sounds like it's a crazy dependency on it, but whatever you want to look at it, it low key is a dependency on it. And I'm just being honest, and it really helps me sleep at night. You know what I mean? So I'm just being honest.
Like me, I would say that smoking tobacco is more like an addiction. Smoking weed is more like a habit.
Yeah.
Like, because I respect that. I don't do it, but I respect that. I think that smoking tobacco, like, for sure, like, you get some dopamine. You're gonna, like, oh, I'm, like, kind of, like, de-stressing right now. But at the same time, it's just, I don't see, like, a good habit. I'm honest. I see it more like an addiction. But I don't see weed the same way. Even though I don't do it, I completely respect that. And I see it more like kind of like a way of, like you said, like a way of living, right? Like just because like alcohol is legal and weed somewhere is not, like it doesn't make it like a bad thing. I completely understand that that's a plan, that it has like a lot of like good things, so I respect that. Like I don't see it as a habit.
Appreciate that.
And I'm more so like a social smoker. So if I'm in a setting where it's a party or a kickback or like my birthday's this month, I might be somewhere in the skies,
Right.
you know.
Got to.
And then you got to. It's only right. It's only right. Under the purposes of like trying to have fun. That's me. Like it's not really like a everyday thing.
Right.
It's not a part of my lifestyle. I guess I
like,
could say like
wake and
daily.
bake.
Yeah, wake and bake. No. So yeah,
You
that's
enjoy
just
it.
me.
When you do it, you enjoy it.
Yes, I do. And I'm having fun.
Precisely of that, I don't
Because
see it as
tomorrow
a
might not
bad
remember.
thing. Like you're having your fun. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like you're enjoying it. You're just like kind of like clicking with some friends. You're just like,
Right.
I don't know.
I do understand how tobacco could be seen as an addiction because
Right.
when I go to like hookah lounges and it's like I'm sure it's not exactly the same thing, but when you go to hookah lounges and you get that rush and you feel lightheaded for a minute and then it stops and then you're like, okay, I need to come back. After a while, you don't get that same feeling anymore after being there for like an hour or so.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, where'd it go? So
Right.
that itching feeling, I could understand how it could turn into some type of addiction for that. So yeah.
Honestly, I feel like, again, like just admitting that you kind of do depend on it is like, it's because it's hard to admit that because of the stigma around it, when in actuality it's like no one judges someone who's like dependent on like downers because they have like anxiety or something. No one's like judging someone who's dependent on painkillers. Is like, even though that shit's like highly addictive, it's like weed is like, at the end of the day, it's like it's a medicinal herb. It's like it's meant to treat things like multiple illnesses and anxieties and stuff like that. And the fact that we feel like we can't admit that it's like, you know what, I do need this because life is fucking shitty right now, or what I'm going through is shitty. It's like I feel like that's such a sad thing to me.
When you were actually listing the things where it's just like you don't judge someone who's addicted to painkillers or medications that help them like kind of relax, like anxiety medication or antidepressants even, it's like you don't judge someone who has like a real like addiction to like coffee or something, because it's something. So it's like there are shops that sell coffee, and then there are shops that sell weed, but which one is the one that you're allowed to bring your kids into? Which one is the one that you're allowed to be in?
I don't really see myself stopping unless doctor's orders or something in my system, cancer or something, COPD or emphysema is starting to take effect. I won't stop.
I think as long as I want to have fun, I'll do it. There's no timeline. I'm like, let's get lit. Like I said earlier, like my birthday's this month. On my birthday, I'm probably gonna be somewhere in the skies, and it might just continue that way.
I've kind of been like looking at age 27 is the date that, or the age that I'll just cut it. At the moment, it's very much it's something that I do after I do anything. It's the after thing that I do.
Or I'll stop by the time I'm 30. I don't know how realistic that is. I've tried to quit a few times and it's been hard, but I tell myself I'll stop by the time I'm 30, so I think.
I'm trying to quit right now. I've been trying to quit for like 2-3 months because I don't really think about myself as like having a really like addictive personality. I know whenever I want, I can stop. I actually did it. Like last month, I was just like, oh, I don't want to smoke. And then I didn't get any more like new cigarettes, so I stopped. And then once I actually understood that I was able to stop whenever I wanted to, I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna start again because like, whenever I want, I can stop.
Honestly, I don't really see myself stopping because maybe it's because I don't see myself stopping because I more see myself just like kind of lessening the frequency of how much I smoke. Like as of right now, I smoke like every day to every other day, and I'm hoping that maybe in the future I can get down to like once a week or a couple times a month to like once a month, where I see myself like maybe I'll be like decades older and I'll still like smoke like once a month and